So we're here on another big day in Parliament. A lot of things have been going on the last few days. Tell us what's been happening, Stella.
We saw that Donald Trump has decided that citizens from 7 countries will be banned from going to America, and refugees will be refused from the home of the Statue of Liberty.
As Stella said, not just on people coming from those countries, but also a ban for 120 days, I think it is, on all refugees coming to the United States. Now, the United States has been a haven for so many people in history, and we all have a duty. We have global responsibilities to take refugees, to take those fleeing persecution and violence.
The official response, I'm so angry, but I'm genuinely so angry that at a point when a president uses his office to treat people like that, our Prime Minister first of all didn't want to talk about it, and then said, well, that's up to America, as though there are no consequences either to a world in which somebody does that from an official office or for our own citizens here in the UK. Are just absolutely extraordinary.
And this coming after what I thought was a pretty fawning trip to the United States. Now, look, everybody understands we have to have a relationship with the United States. We have to have a relationship with the United States government. The United States is one of our oldest and strongest allies. But there's a question about how you have that relationship.
Our job is sometimes to talk to people that we don't like. That's part of politics. These are the very, very most vulnerable people in our world. And our Prime Minister just said, well, that's his call. Doing what she's doing, it looks like we're endorsing what Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump is going to be invited here for an official state visit. And that's one thing. It's one thing to talk to other nations, to talk to people you disagree with, to speak up to them. I mean, he was signing that immigration order the day that she was there.
And on Holocaust Memorial Day, of all days, to be signing it on that day. That's not about banning Donald Trump coming from here, banning him from having contact with our government. Absolutely, we have to have a relationship. But it's about whether we give him our highest honour, and not just that, whether he gets to spend that time with the Queen, and whether he comes to address both houses of Parliament. Now, I've launched a motion in Parliament this morning saying that he should not be permitted to make a joint Houses address in Westminster Hall and in the Palace of Westminster. But Westminster Hall is a place where we've given our highest honours. We've had people speak there like Nelson Mandela, where Winston Churchill laid in state, and our monarchs. I simply don't think the Queen Mother. I simply do not think
it's a place of honouring people. It's a place of saying that these people deserve the British public want to laud them. I don't think the British public want to laud somebody who wants to divide our world in the way in which Donald Trump is doing.
And it's clear as well that the Prime Minister is on some very, very wobbly grounds here with her own party, with a number of her own MPs. People like Sarah Wollaston has spoken out this morning on the same issue about Westminster Hall. Nadine Zahawi has actually joined with Ed Miliband this afternoon in petitioning for an emergency debate on the immigration restrictions and statements made by Donald Trump.
Boris Johnson seems to think it's okay because he thinks he's negotiated a get-out clause for the British citizens, the thousands of people in all our areas who are not just Mo Farah, but great campaigners, people who have friends, who have family in America, who shouldn't have their rights curtailed in this way because of where they were born. But somehow the idea that if you can negotiate a get-out clause for those people, this policy doesn't matter. He's just completely missed the point about how divisive it is to ban people on the basis of their nationality or their religion.
What it is clear is that we simply cannot allow this type of politics, this type of division and hate to become the new normal. It requires all of us to stand up. It requires us to stand up in this Parliament. It requires British people to stand up and be counted. It requires Americans to stand up and be counted, and all of us to speak out against this type of hate and intolerance.
So we want to put out a call to action to everyone in Britain and indeed around the world. If you happen to watch these videos, don't be silent, because now is a time in our world's history where people aren't going to be asking, well, how did you get a good trade deal? They're going to be asking in the future, what did you do to stop the hate? Use your social media. Say to people this is wrong. Say it's not okay as long as it doesn't affect British citizens. It affects us all when the world is divided like this.
Contact your MP, right? It's really, really crucial at this stage. That
Sign the petitions.
Yeah, MPs know the strength of feeling that there is from their constituents. We're going to be going out there today in Parliament, fighting for what's right. But please help us. If you want to ask us questions, please do follow us below, subscribe to our videos, share our videos, like our videos, and if you want to ask us comments, ask us any questions, please do. Frankly, Prime Minister, you got it wrong. You got it badly, badly wrong, and you've misjudged this country. You've misjudged this Parliament, and you need to change your course pretty rapidly.
How dare you, Theresa May, be silent on an issue like this on behalf of the British people? That isn't leadership. He might have taken your hand, but don't let him take your tongue.